Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. Today is another unboxing video and of course it is again from Binu Varghese, one of the best sellers when it comes to foliage plants. Now guys, I do love aglaonemas a lot, so I went ahead and purchased a combo of 4 aglaonemas. Now I wanted to buy them from a very long time, but unfortunately because it was summers and the environment was very dry, I restricted from buying them at that point of time. In my previous house I had a lot of aglaonemas, but when I shifted to this new place, because it's an open terrace, there's a lot of strong wind. Apart from that, it's very dry, due to which a lot of my aglaonemas from my previous house, when I shifted over here, they did not survive. Only the few green ones happened to survive. But now that the monsoons have arrived and there is a good amount of humidity in the environment, I thought I'll go ahead and purchase it, because this is the right time to purchase aglaonemas, because during the monsoon season the environment is cooler, there is a good amount of humidity, there is a lot of moisture in the air, and when a plant comes in from a different location, it is able to handle much better, it is able to adjust much better in a new environment when there is a good amount of humidity. So that's why I went ahead and purchased some aglaonemas. Now of course, because all of my plants in the garden are more on the green tone, so there is a very monotonous green tone in my garden and I wanted to add a little bit of color. Of course I have a lot of flowering plants, but again there is one set of location where there is a lot of green plants, so I wanted to kind of push some colors in between so that it can look even more attractive. So I went ahead and purchased a combo of 4. So let me quickly unpack it. And there we go. These are the aglaonemas that I have purchased, and you can see they are so very well packed. This is the first one. Now again guys, I'm not very sure about the names because I'm not very familiar with aglaonemas. There are so many different varieties and all of those varieties tend to look very similar, so I'm not very sure about the exact IDs, but I'm going to give you an overall look of the plants. So sorry guys, the battery happened to die off. Apart from that, it's getting really dark, so I happened to move to a brighter spot so you can see the beautiful color and variations on these aglaonemas. I have been looking out for these aglaonemas for a very long time and I finally happened to get them. As you can see it for yourself, these are beautiful aglaonemas, very vibrant bright color. It's definitely going to change the entire look of my arrangement once I start placing them in between. Now of course my entire garden is more of the green tone, so this is basically going to break that monotonous green color and is going to add a lot of color to my garden. So this is another variety. So I've ordered 4 varieties. Basically it was a combo of 4 aglaonemas, and as I said, I'm not very sure about the name. Probably this is called the aglaonema diamond, but again I'm not very sure, as there are so many varieties which look very similar to each other, so it's very difficult to identify them. But you can see overall the plants are fantastic. You can see the root system is also very healthy, very thick roots, and these can easily get acclimated in my environment. In my city, the environment has become very cooler, so I was very confident and very happy to purchase these, and you can see they are absolutely beautiful colored. I think this aglaonema is about to put out a bloom. As you can see, this is the bloom, the bud that is coming up. You might have seen it in my previous video. So absolutely beautiful, very happy. You can see the health of the roots. All of the leaves are intact. I don't see any breakage of any leaves, stem, or any of the roots. All of them look very healthy. That's because the seller has packed them very well. It took around 2 days for them to come in. They were in transit for 2 days, but even after 2 days you can see they are completely healthy. There is no droopy leaves, there is no yellowing of the leaves. All look very perfect. All the stems, all the roots are intact. So guys, what I'm going to do is I will repot one of the plant, and I'm going to show you, because some people had asked me how do I repot newly purchased, especially when they come in transit. So I will repot one of the plant. Hopefully it doesn't get too dark before I start repotting it. Again, I'm going to be using the same soil mix which I use for all of my plants, because aglaonemas prefer well draining, loose, porous soil mix. They do not like too much of moisture in the soil, but a slight even moisture. They do not like to be kept in dry soil for a longer period of time, so ensure that you're keeping these things in mind. So as soon as you get your plant, let them be out for like at least an hour or so that they can just kind of breathe, and then put them into the pot. Do not wait for a very long time. Do not keep them outside the soil for a very long time, otherwise they can get damaged, because aglaonemas are a little bit delicate when they are kept in open without soil. So what I'm going to do is, for example, I'm just going to show you one of the aglaonema that I will be potting. Now over here I have taken a 5-inch pot. Depending upon the size of the Aglaonema, you can go from anywhere from 5-inch pot to a 7-inch pot, depending upon how big the plant is. Over here I have taken the same soil mix, which is a mix of coco peat, garden soil, sand and perlite. You can see some perlite granules. I'll make a small little hole into the soil. The coco peat is slightly moist, so I do not need to water it. It is slightly moist, that is more than enough. We do not want a very soggy wet soil as of now, because the plant has just come in. We want it to get acclimated in our new environment. So I will gently push it into the soil. Now I'm so sorry guys, it is a little clumsy because I'm holding the phone in one hand, so it's little difficult to repot the plant with one hand, but I'm trying my best. So after we have planted the Aglaonema, just push the soil so that we can release any air pockets that would be present in the soil. And that's all about it. You can see it looks absolutely fantastic. The others I will repot it probably after some time, because I have to still get some more soil and mix the soil. So this is how it looks like. So you can see the soil mix is very loose, porous, well draining. I won't be watering it right now. I will wait for one day at least, so that the plant can first adjust itself into the soil and feel comfortable. And probably tomorrow I will go ahead and water it early morning at around 8 or 9. That is absolutely okay. And again, I'm not going to be using direct tap water. It is going to be old water that has been sitting in the bucket for 24 hours or overnight. Now I always tend to avoid using direct tap water for most of my foliage plants, and especially when the plant is come in transit from a different environment, I avoid using tap water because it contains a lot of chlorine that can again kind of damage the plant. I wouldn't say it will kill the plant, but it will damage the plant if there is a high amount of chlorine in water. So the best thing what you can do is either use filtered water, RO water, or you can use old water that has been sitting in the bucket for couple of hours, because in couple of hours the chlorine will evaporate from the water and then you can use that water. That tends to work out really well, and this is what I tend to do for most of my plants, especially the ones that come in transit. So guys, that's all about it. It is pretty simple, and these plants are going to be kept in indirect bright light. Aglaonemas do not like direct sunlight. Even if they have this beautiful bright colors, you still have to offer indirect bright light, probably early morning before 9 a.m. If you give direct sunlight before 9 a.m. it's absolutely okay, but after that please do not offer any direct sunlight. That will damage the plant. Even the ones that have these really bright vibrant colors, keep them in indirect bright light. They will do quite well. If you're growing them indoor, ensure you're keeping them near the windowsill where they receive a good amount of indirect bright light. And that's all about it. They will do quite well. Again, the most important thing, please do not add fertilizers as soon as you repot your plant, because the plant is still trying to acclimate and adjust in the new soil. Adding of fertilizers can kind of hamper them. So do not add any fertilizers right away. You have to at least wait for a month. Let the plant kind of settle down and then you can give fertilizers, because now during summers or during the warmer months, that's when they are in their growing period. During winters, please don't add any fertilizers. But right now, after you have repotted, you have seen my soil mix. There is no fertilizers. I do not use any liquid fertilizers right away. I wait at least for a month before I go ahead and add fertilizers. There is no hurry. The plant will still do quite well. You do not need to be worried. The plant will be absolutely fine. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to watch more such videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.